They need to.
Come on, Judy.
Okay, so welcome everyone to the grand opening of the Pet Rescue by Judy New Rescue Adoption Center.
You have to help us now. You have to count 1, 2. 1. Thank you.
2, 3. Enough. Susan Elliott Ring, she has sweated and teared and cried and hammered and nailed. All of you all have been there for me for the years. You know how many times I've moved and you heard all the complaints. But we're not gonna, no one's gonna complain now, and I can't, I'm speechless, and God bless you all for coming out. This is for the animals. This is not a Judy thing. This is for the animals. We're gonna work with all the rescues. We're gonna spay and neuter lots of animals. It's gonna help the communities, help the animals. God bless you all. I'm speechless, and look at all these people. God bless you. I'm speechless. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Someone once offered me a definition for true love. Lock your significant other and your dog in the trunk of your car for an hour. When you release them, which one is glad to see you?
Found him in the morning, an eerie looking sight, lying in a truck yard. He made it through the night, howling in the air. I heard him everywhere. Stray dog, you won't leave me alone. Dirty dog, I can't be taking you home. Taking you home. Dog, go away. Dog, go away. Dog, go away. I can't be taking you home.
My most rewarding dogs are my rescue dogs. It just, you know, it brings a tear to your eye to see a dog go from death's doorstep. And, you know, they go from, we're sure we're going to have to put this dog down and it's never going to work and there's nothing that can be done, to just a whole 180, and all of a sudden they've got a dog and they can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Meet Jessica Clover of Altamont Springs, Florida. Destined at a young age to be an animal trainer, this young woman uses positive training techniques to help dog owners communicate with their dogs.
I'm Jessica Clover. I own the National Academy for Dogs. I've been training dogs in Central Florida area for over a decade now. I have certifications through the Animal Behavior College and also in behavior through the University of Central Florida. We do positive in-home dog training. It's one of my favorite things in the entire universe. I got very lucky. I get to do what I love for a living.
Jessica, why don't you tell us a little bit about Nikki, the dog that you were training today?
Nikki's a 10-year-old rescue dog. She's actually from Pet Rescue by Judy. We adopted her in 2008. She was actually 5 years old at the time. She's a great example of how wonderful older dogs can be. They get looked over so much in the rescues and they make the best dogs. So Nikki had some issues when she first came to us. She was a bit wary around men and small children, so we did have to do a bit of desensitizing and counter conditioning before we actually started her work in public. She is a fully trained service dog, so she's been trained for mobility assistance, search and rescue, and for autism assistance. She's since been retired due to an injury which led to arthritis in her spine.
What led you to this field of dog training?
I've always loved animals. I was one of those kids that just really make their parents pull their hair out because every weekend I would be coming home with this stray dog or that stray cat or this snake or that turtle. So my parents would tell you I was destined to be an animal trainer. I really got into animal training after I'd gotten my original degree in anthropology. I worked in the anthropology field for a few years and then decided to go back and pursue a career working with animals. And so I went back and did some classes in behavior. And then from that point, I started working with dogs. I had gotten some dogs at that point that were my personal animals that had some issues. That I needed to work through with them, and I thought it would just be a great opportunity for me to work with other people to help them also overcome problems like this with their animals.
Stay.
Dogs are actually pretty easy to train. They're one of the easiest species on the planet to train. You know, regardless of breed or age or gender. Typically, the hardest part of dog training is actually training the people. The dogs are fairly easy. On the other hand, teaching the people how to communicate and how to connect with their animals can be a bit more challenging. There's a lot of myths and misconceptions that have to be overcome on the human side of things before they can really understand what's going on with their dog's behavior. That's probably the most challenging part, is working through the human assumptions on what dogs should be, so that we can get to what dogs really are, and then we can take their dogs where they want them to be. You know, if you absolutely can't financially afford dog training by a professional, there are some great organizations online which put on videos and put on information. The American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior. Many dog trainers will also talk to you on the phone without having to come out in person and do a consultation. So a lot of dog trainers will work with you that way, in that if you can call, you know, we'll talk to you a little bit.
It's 2 to 4 weeks. So if you're at a point where you want to get Louis done,
we'll do it.
just bring them. Yeah, and you can drop them both off for the day, and then and what we did with Brendan too is if you want to get them to me, and I just bring them, because that way you don't have to drive all the way out and all the way back, because I come here every day.
So my name is Lori Seelhoff, and I have been a small animal veterinarian for almost 17 years, and I can't really remember a time that I didn't want to be a veterinarian. I grew up, everybody else wants to be all these different things, and I don't think I ever wanted to be anything else. I'm just one of the fortunate ones that was able to do what I wanted to do growing up, so that was good. Grew up in Texas, went to Texas A&M, and been practicing in Florida. And currently I'm working for Young's Animal Hospital in Titusville, full-time. Always loved animals, and that's the obvious answer when people say, why do you want to be a veterinarian? Well, because I love animals, but that's only half of it. You have to love people as well and want to look at the whole picture, and the animal doesn't walk in by itself, it walks in with a person. I can't narrow down the best part of my job. It's the coolest job in the world, I think. Everything about it's great. Every day is different. I can have something very routine, puppies and kittens, and then I can have a really sick thing that I need to try to figure out, and it's variable. I never know what's going to walk in the door. Even what's scheduled is very different, and then I may have something scheduled, the next thing, an emergency walks in the door, and my whole day is completely unpredictable. I think the biggest challenge for me is that I can't fix everything. People don't have money, or that's the hardest thing is people come in and say, you can't just do everything for the animal. You have to go with people's budgets and people's what they want to do for their animal, and sometimes I want to do more, and the owner doesn't want to do more, or they can't afford more, and I just can't personally fund every animal that comes in the door, and that's difficult. That's very challenging for me. So I think that's probably the hardest part of my job.
Dr. Laurie, you had mentioned previously that you had worked with the ASPCA. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your experiences in that regard? Okay, well, actually, I am a consultant with the ASPCA with the Field Investigations and Response Team. That's a big, long name for the rescue group. It's a subdivision of the ASPCA that deals with cruelty cases and hoarding cases and that type of thing, and also natural disasters. And I actually left my previous job in order to do that work full time because I found it very, very fulfilling to be with a bunch of people, technicians and kennel people and shelter people and veterinarians, that everybody is into rescue and doing the best for the animals. And it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. So it was quite amazing to be able to do that. I never thought I'd get into it. I actually got an email from the Florida Veterinary Medical Association saying we need veterinarians to volunteer for a field shelter, and we can't tell you what it's about because it's it's kind of top secret right now. And I thought, oh, that's great. I'd love to be able to volunteer my time, and that's the rest is history. I got kind of roped into that, and now I have the rescue bug, so I really just want to try to be able to do whatever I can for that.
Louie's like a younger dog.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting he's younger than he is. He looks less round. How much did he? Oh, we haven't seen him here before. That's right. 92. Here we are at Young's Animal Hospital, and we're in the pharmacy area, and this is where we do all our medications and do a lot of our paperwork and kind of answer phone messages and things like that. And then we're going to go into, here is our surgery room. We are set up with 2 tables. We've got a laser over in the far corner that we can use for small growths and things like that. It's considered pretty state-of-the-art. We can have up to 2 surgeons in here at a time, and this is separate from the dental area because the dental area is considered dirty because the teeth have a lot of bacteria, and this is a very sterile area. We keep it closed when there is a surgeon in here, and everybody has to wear caps and masks to keep it very, very sterile. This is a separate room that we use sometimes if we have an overflow of surgeries, or it's actually considered the laser room. Over to the left, we have a what's called a cold laser. It's used for healing. We use it for dogs with arthritis or wounds that won't heal. So the cold laser is done in here. It has to be with the door shut and with special glasses to use that. And also the laser that was in the surgery room we also use in here as well, because that also involves separate equipment. So this is a good room to have off by itself. We do have an anesthesia machine in the corner in case we have to work on anesthetized patients. This is our isolation area where we have animals that have, like for example, dogs that have parvo disease or parvovirus or distemper, or cats with upper respiratory virus or unknown vaccine status. Okay, and this is our cat room. Those are 2 of our patients that had surgery, so that's why they have the fancy little lampshade looking hats on, so they can't look at their incisions, but that they're otherwise boarding with us and looking pretty comfortable after surgery. So the cats are separate from the dogs just for everybody's stress level. Okay, and this is the most vocal part of the clinic. This is where all the boarding dogs live. And somebody on the end wants to make his presence known. Because I think wasn't he up to like 10 or 11 or something?
They were both up to 10.
Okay. I feel like I'm watching a tennis match. Okay, so we're doing distemper and bordetella.
So stage 1 on his teeth.
Stage 1. All right, you ready? You ready?
You said that you love surgery.
I do love surgery. Yes, that's probably one of my favorite aspects of veterinary medicine. I've always loved it. My first surgery I watched, I was in 7th grade, and my local vet allowed me to come watch because he knew that I wanted to be a vet, and that doesn't happen anymore because of liability. But now he said, "Come on down and watch it." And one day after I was out of school, and I got to watch a knee surgery and then some other surgeries, and I was hooked. I loved it.
Dr. Lori, tell me a little bit about your volunteer work.
Well, there's something I'm looking into doing as far as taking care of feral cat populations. There's a well-known procedure called TNR, which stands for trap, neuter, and release, where people trap their feral populations, which are the wild animals, wild cats living out in the outside, basically, and bring them to you, spay and neuter them, and re-release them in the environment, because that's an alternative to bringing them into these shelters where they're going to be euthanized because they're not adoptable. So the clinic I work for is interested in sponsoring a TNR clinic, which is, hopefully we'll do like once every couple of months, in which I'm in the beginning stages of finding out the permits for a nonprofit corporation, that type of thing. And the accounting, because it's a nonprofit, but we're in the process of looking at starting that hopefully this summer. I'm actually going to a training at a organization called the Humane Alliance, which teaches veterinarians how to do what's called high-volume spay-neuter, to do these things, these surgeries very quickly and efficiently, but do it properly. So I'm actually heading up there tomorrow, actually, to learn some of these techniques. So that's good to combine my love of surgery and my love of rescue. So it's a perfect opportunity for me.
Did you tell me that was out of state as well?
That's in Asheville, North Carolina. Yes, that's the.
So you're always on the go, huh?
Yes, yes, pretty much. Yeah.
Shortly after filming this interview, Dr. Seelhoff volunteered her time and services to Spay and Save, one of the satellites of Humane Alliance located in Longwood, Florida.
Welcome to Spay and Save. I'm Phyllis Ayub. I'm Executive Director here. And we are one of the Humane Alliance, which is a national mentoring group that helps open spay-neuter clinics across the country. We are their 108th clinic, and we are very proud to be members of their organization. And this has been a dream of ours that we've been working to open this clinic for many years. And last July 30th was our opening date, and we've been here for 9.5 months. And we have spayed and neutered 4,500 animals already. We do cats and dogs. We do rescue animals. We do owned animals. And we do free-roaming feral cats. We're working with another group that got a grant to do pit bulls for free. So we've been getting a lot of pit bulls in the last 2-3 weeks. And this is a male that is being prepped for surgery, getting ready to be neutered. This is Dr. Bilodeau. She's about to neuter this male pit bull. And it takes probably about 5 minutes to do a male, 10 minutes or so. And once he is through being neutered, he will go to recovery. And once he's awake, we will put him back in the kennels. But working with the pit bulls is very important because probably 70% of the dogs that end up at animal control are labeled as pit bulls, whether they are or not, because there's always a decision to be made what breed a dog is, and just by looking at a dog, you can't always tell. But 70% of them do end up being labeled as pit bulls, so we are trying to work specifically with this breed of animals so that we can lower the euthanasia rate at animal control. We do strive for safety first and for high quality. Our patients here get the exact same care anybody's patients would get at any other vet clinic.
I have one actually, the pill, Genovese, Comfortis, good, like 2.5. Good, I just want to make sure we're covering that base.
This is our dog recovery area. Once they have come off the surgery table and they have woken up, they come back here to be monitored. And once they're fully awake, their owners will be back probably around 3 o'clock to pick them up and take them home. So it's one day in, same day surgery, same day recovery and go home. We don't keep any animals here overnight. They're better off with their owners where they can be observed. This is our cat room. This is where the friendly cats are kept. We have cats from rescue and we have cats that are owned. We fix or we spay and neuter any cat that is at least 2 pounds or over 8 weeks. We do cats and dogs at that age. And we get anywhere from 8 weeks up to 8 years, no limit on how old they need to be. And we knew there would be a market for this type of clinic because people always were calling us needing help with their animals, and they couldn't afford to go to a regular practice. They couldn't afford to pay the prices that some of the other practices charge. And there's this big niche that was there that needed to be filled, and this has been almost more of a heartfelt thing that we had to do because we have been in rescue for over 20 years. You can't save the world just by rescuing. We have to do high volume spay and neuter if we're going to make a difference.
I'd call her name and she'd come running. Always remain our loyal friend. We did most everything together. I know someday we'll meet again. I know someday we'll meet again. Someday we'll meet again.
Okay, I'm Susan Elliott Rink, and I'm the project coordinator for the renovation of this beautiful property we're standing in front of for Pet Rescue by Judy. Someone had donated these buildings to her, and she needed the renovations done. So we've been working on getting this done through donations, and it has been truly extraordinary. The construction industry has stepped up, unbelievably generous, even upgrading some of the things that we were planning to do. So it's just, when I saw Judy, after 20 years, 11 different shelters, living in the woods for 7 months with no running water, if there's somebody on the planet that deserves this, she deserves this.
I just want to welcome everybody to Pet Rescue by Judy. We're very fortunate today. We got our Dennis who's doing a documentary about ground on our renovation for our new location down by the Sanford Dog Park. So I'm really ecstatic about that. And I hope that everyone will maybe see an animal, a cat or a dog, or something to take home. We'd love for them to go with you. Hi, how you doing today?
Really well, how are you?
Hi, whatever you don't see here today is on our website.
Thanks. You're welcome, thank you. Friendly. Interior mix, she loves everybody. Very friendly dog. He loves to play.
She likes to do the hand like Crisco liked to do. Like our dog would do the grab it like that. 6 weeks old.
He wouldn't chew on it, but I can poke my arm just to get the attention.
I know, right?
Oh, I didn't, I'm sorry. I didn't
No,
see
you're
you were
fine.
doing the
You're
picture.
fine.
And this is Rick Moreland. I don't even know who you are. I mean, he has been the one that has been forging the way with this project up until the point that we really got started here. Rick has gotten the plans done. He's worked with Judy hand in hand to make this thing happen.
I've been involved with Judy for 5 years, 4 years as her VP, and she's just infectious. It's great to be a part of it. I've never seen anybody with such dedication to her craft, and these animals are just so fortunate to have her on their side. It's been 2 years in the making, and we will have a new facility here very shortly, and it'll be state-of-the-art. We welcome everybody to come by and see, donate, do what you can, especially with people that have expertise in the construction industry. And we need everybody's help, and we're very fortunate and glad to be here.
And I have to say, that's the longest I've ever seen Judy not get on the phone.
Hi, I'm Judy Cirillo. I'm the director of Pet Rescue by Judy. I'm very fortunate to have been in this position for the last 20 years here in the Central Florida area. I started 20 years ago as a volunteer with a rescue organization. I would do it on the weekends, being that I was a full-time director at hotels. But I really enjoyed working with the animals, getting to meet people, and seeing what happens when you're able to work with an animal and find it a loving home. What we have been doing in the community, Pet Rescue by Judy, last year we rehomed 2,100 animals, cats and dogs. All my animals are spayed or neutered. As soon as they come in, they're checked for microchips if they're a stray, but all my animals are spayed or neutered. They're microchipped, they're all vetted. They have all their vaccinations up to date. The dogs are heartworm tested. The cats are tested for feline leukemia and AIDS, so that we, from all that we do, that we send a wonderful, healthy animal into a home. So again, all the animals are medically checked out. We have the best, and I'm so fortunate, I have the most magnificent fosters, and fosters do it all, and volunteers. I have children that started with me at 12 years old who are now engineers. So, and their families are still with me. So we just continue to grow and have one. Foster homes, I'm backtracking. Foster homes, they take in either cats or dogs or kittens or puppies, whatever they feel that the family can handle. We supply everything that's needed. We ask them not to put out any money, just to give love and attention and just help get these animals acclimated to living into another home. Some of them are strays on the streets for how long. Some of them have been totally abandoned. Some of them have just been born on the streets. So with foster homes, reacclimating these animals to living into a house, you learn a lot about them. So they're basically potty trained, ready to go into a new forever home, which really alleviates a lot of animals getting returned because they don't have manners. So the fosters do a phenomenal job. My volunteers, they check out references, they check out applications, they work at a wonderful Oviedo store. We have a beautiful store at the Oviedo Mall in between the food court and Dillard's, and we're there every Saturday and Sunday from 12 until 5. We bring dogs, cats, puppies, and kittens, people that have been pre-qualified or people that are in the mall and they want to come see our animals. It just has a nice, easy atmosphere so people can get acclimated to the animals. And we have a lazy boy corner there where they can lounge in their lazy boy and relax and hold an animal, a cat or a dog, and get acclimated. We work with UCF, Rollins College. They do so much for us. The two universities are awesome. So we can't thank them enough. They're involved in a lot of the projects that we have. We do Rent a Pup at UCF once a month. Take out 20 dogs and students come up, walk them through the campuses, rollerblade, bicycle ride with them. The dogs go back and they're exhausted, but they've had such a great time. And then UCF does cupcakes and pups. And they raise a lot of money for us, and the students get to play in a big ring with all the animals, and it gives them a break in between testing. So these are just some of the other things that we do in the community for the people, for the animals. So it's just been a long, hard haul, but we're getting to it, and Pet Rescue by Judy's finally going to have its own home, and I don't have to move anymore. If people are 55 and older, and the animals are 5 years and older, we do discounts. Everything is done the same. They're chipped, they're fixed, they're tested, they have all their shots. But for a mature person or a retired person, it makes them get up, walk, gives them something to do so they don't become, stagnant. You just become stagnant because you have nothing to do. But if you have a pet and you have to walk it, you have to brush it, you have to feed it, it gives them something more to do. So that's really important, is our Seniors for Seniors. Animals can't talk, and they need people to talk for them. And there's not enough people talking for them and trying to save them and educate people to see that they need to have these animals. Really, the people need the animals more sometimes than the animal needs you, because animals bring so much comfort and gratification. Animals can't talk, and they need people to talk for them.
I saw him every morning. He was not a pretty sight. Lying there exhausted from one of his nighttime fights. His howling filled the air. You can hear it everywhere. Was a rough-looking mutt with a face full of scars. But he was a mascot to the drivers who worked around that Brooklyn truck yard. Tough as he was, he protected his buddies. Somehow, for some reason, that dog was connected to me. I found him in a truck yard. He was lying on his side. That dog could see right through me when he looked me in the eye. I knew we were connected, but I've always wondered why. When I went back to look for him many years later, I was told he had his throat cut by a couple of gang boys who somehow gained his trust. Brownie didn't get close to no one that easily. I kinda wish he died fighting like the street mutt that he was. "25 years and I can't forget him," as I tell this story one more time. That stray dog we call Brownie, he was a good friend of mine.